Amanda, thanks for the introductions. Thank you for joining us for Spy Chat Live, and we have a big virtual audience. Director, it's great to see you again. This is a great opportunity to engage with you again. We've done this before. It's deja vu. So it's welcome back to the museum. Well, it's great to see you.
It's great to be here. I'm a big fan of the museum, and obviously I always enjoy talking to you.
Thanks. So what I want to do, Director, is dive right in. I have a series of questions, my prerogative, I'd like to ask you. And then we're going to roll into some questions that we're going to receive virtually as well as from our audience here tonight. So I'm going to dive right in. The FBI has a unique place in the U.S. government as both the lead federal law enforcement agency and as a member of the U.S. intelligence community. How do you balance both of those roles and responsibilities, and is there ever any tension between the two of those roles?
I mean, I actually think of those two roles as complementing each other. I think our role as a law enforcement agency makes us more effective as an intelligence agency and vice versa. And I think there are a lot of reasons for that, and certainly when I compare notes with my foreign counterparts, which I do all the time, some of which are structured differently, most of them tell me how much they envy our structure of having it all under one roof. And I think part of that is because of the ways in which the threats have evolved and the need to be agile in dealing with those threats. The era of kind of national security threats over here and traditional criminal threats over here is largely gone and is largely overly simplistic. And the separating of those roles, I think, runs a very real risk of, at best, artificial stovepiping, and at worst, delays, balls getting dropped, and so forth. So why do I say that? I mean, you could take cyber. It has become increasingly hard to tell where nation-state cyber activity ends and traditional criminal cyber activity begins, which there's more and more of a blending of the threat. And you certainly wouldn't want to have two different agencies trying to deal with that. So that manifests itself in ways like we see nation states, foreign intelligence services, the Russians, the Chinese, Iranians, hiring cyber criminals, think of them like cyber mercenaries, in effect, to do a lot of their work. We also see members of those same intelligence services making extra money on the side, almost moonlighting, engaging in cyber criminal activity. We also see those same intelligence services using cyber criminal tools to conduct their attacks because they think it better hides the role of the government. So we've seen, for example, ransomware attacks that aren't really ransomware attacks. They're essentially a foreign government engaged in a cyber attack disguised as a ransomware attack. So it's on cyber. It's in counterterrorism. More and more these days, we might catch an attack that's unfolding and not know at the time that we disrupt the attack what the motivation is. And you sure as heck wouldn't want to have a situation where the FBI had to sit and wait to figure out whether there was a counterterrorism nexus to be able to rush in and help. And we're seeing a lot of situations where you see threat actors who are motivated by not only a mishmash of ideologies, but they're mixing their ideologies with kind of personal grievances, like an employer or former employer that they're ticked off at or something. And so, again, this idea of kind of neatly splitting them apart is just not realistic. But you could go through any number of other examples. Take the cartels. The cartels are both a law enforcement threat and a national security threat. And so we think it's important to be able to respond nimbly and effectively to those threats by treating them as both and not having a left-hand, right-hand problem that would unfold. And the same thing goes when you take it out of the realm of national security and look at the integration of intelligence and law enforcement. I feel very strongly that our intelligence role makes us more effective as a law enforcement agency because we know how to maximize impact based on the intelligence. But by the same token, I think our intelligence folks are a lot better at what they do because they know and they work every day with people who have to use that intelligence and action that intelligence. So they know how to make their intelligence useful and actionable. And that's why we have analysts, intelligence analysts and agents training together at Quantico. That's why when I go, I've been to all 56 of the FBI's field offices twice.
That's
I'm on
impressive.
my third round now. And everywhere I go, you get briefed on a case. They've got intelligence analysts and law enforcement, intelligence analysts and the case agents sitting side by
Hand in
side
glove.
working together. And I think that integration is critical to our success. At the end of the day, intelligence is just a fancy word for information that drives decision making, and good intelligence drives better decision making. So that's, to me, what it's all about.